What's up, viewers? My name is Cameron Yo. I'm going to be winging this video and branching out as I go. So, with that said, I'll be talking about the Tower of Babel, Babylon, or Babel, however you want to say it, but for this video, we'll call it Babel because I'm making it on a flyer, and on this with this flyer, I'm going to be putting it out into on like street lights and just posting them up everywhere. So, to introduce the Tower of Babel, I have 5 questions, which is the 5 W's, and how. So to start out, we have who. Babylonians are the first to get this into construction, then was destroyed and rebuilt by the conquerors. The reason why I say conquerors is because back then they had religion as their factor to brainwash other people that they would capture, right? And as prisoners, and when those prisoners would convert to being one of their soldiers, they would continue to go to other cities, and have other prisoners go into their religion. So that's just to give you guys a heads up of, like, to just branch out, I guess. What could the Tower of Babel allow different information to emerge? Meaning, could we find out new information about what's above? And we'll get more in depth with that while we go into the video. So yeah, when before the birth of Christ, which is BC. The reason why I say the birth of Christ or BC is because that's what it's known to in textbooks, and for some people they believe it. They believe time to be an illusion. For example, you can use the North Star as your time, right? And when you can use that as your time, and if you were to reflect to the time that we're using now, which is, say, 7 days is a week, right? You can control how many days are in that week. You know what I mean? So where in the ancient city of Babylon, now known as Iraq, and the what we'll mention about Iraq is that on that side of the world, like towards Egypt and, say, Libya, the one that we're going to focus on is Libya, near Iraq, is that they have slaves and sex slaves, right? And the reason we're gonna apply that to this is because we're gonna apply that to the third song that I'll be going over in the video. So we'll get to that. How can we construct this? Is with modern technology and equipment. And the reasons for construction would be to end conspiracies about Neil Armstrong, and the one we'll focus on is his boot print on the moon being different from the boot itself in the museum. So you guys can look that up yourself if you want to. And they have other conspiracies about him too, about the flag not supposed to be waving, and how the shadows on the moon aren't matching up the sun, and it's just fake in general. So you can look into that. It can also end the conspiracy of space being made of CGI. If you don't know what CGI is, it's computer generated imagery. So meaning that the space that we're taught would be false due to it being unknown. So the Tower of Babel can be helpful to that because we'd understand what it is fully instead of having things to confuse us or whatever. It can also end the debate about Earth being flat or a sphere by going up there and seeing it yourself. So this next one is more of a personal view, but having a thought process think we're a dot in space isn't healthy, since it can be proven not to be reality by the Tower of Babel. Benefits of the Tower of Babel would be it could decrease building population, since building population increases horizontally, not vertically. With that said, it can possibly decrease crimes and increase safety. It can also provide us the use of the glider, which is an invention made by Leonardo da Vinci. And although the invention may not be functional like flying birds, it can be, in a sense, upgraded, because in with Leonardo da Vinci, he wanted people to use that as a source of transportation, right? So just applying that with this would just be a benefit that was already there, you know? Another benefit it can provide is more environmental growth and more like by more free space for people, you know? And since the Tower of Babel isn't constructed, it'd be difficult to explain all the benefits it can have, you know. So that'd be something that the people would have to discuss or something. So yeah, the contradictions to the Tower of Babel would be the space race that includes Neil Armstrong, but since it can includes the conspiracy about his boot being fake and all that, and the shadows, whatever, that just contradicts itself. So with that said, the reason why we're acknowledging the space race is because they had, not they had, but America and Russia had an independent opponent. Although they're both independent, but I'm saying like an independent country that wanted to go against them during the space race didn't get to have that go as their expedition, I guess, and it just doesn't make sense on why that wasn't taught to me, you know, or say other people, because if they have the conspiracy and like say Zambia, for example, they they're just like kind of restricting some information, which that's kind of the purpose of why I'm making this flyer and video to show you guys like what else is out there and what else maybe you guys can give me. If you can comment and just like maybe a song or something from a religion, you know, because I will do another video if you guys want me to. So this next contradiction is new but kept unknown to the public, which is Area 51. The reason it's a contradiction is because it's said to have contact with extraterrestrials and unknown flying objects. And extraterrestrials are known as aliens, but it's just um, there's no way to confirm that. You know what I mean? It's just a bunch of jinneh news or something. Like jinneh means like hearing something from someone that you're just like that you learn that you're gonna say, and when you say it, you say like oh I heard that from this person. That just means jinneh. That's Navajo, but I'm not gonna go into that right now. So, but with space not being known to reality, and no actual way to have confirmation of what's above, it will remain a mystery until confronted. So keep that in mind. To carry on, we'll be acknowledging a temple named the Temple of Abydos. The reason this is being acknowledged is because inside the hypostyle hall, there's carvings of what's believed to be crafts of transport before they were invented, which means they could have had this invented, thought of, or seen. And I'll show you guys the picture right now because this one's a bit more like you have to like kind of look at it to understand. Because it's like a helicopter right here. I don't know if you guys can see it. Here's my finger. Yeah, you guys can see it. Yeah. That's that. And the next contradiction is we'll be acknowledging an aircraft called Vimana. This is the reason this is being acknowledged is because this was written about by the Hindus, Buddhists, and other people before any aircrafts were invented. Like actually seen in the sky, you know what I mean? Like instead of like instead of having actual confirmation of it being there, you know what I mean? So, but to give the functions of this aircraft, it's to travel the land and other planets, travel fast, go invisible, and have weapons equipped. But since I mentioned other planets, and since the CGI plays a factor in this, there's really no way to tell, you know, that's why I said it will remain a mystery until confronted. So, yeah. Another contradiction is the Vatican's telescope. The reason we're focusing on this particular telescope is because it's known to take pictures of space. But since, again, space being a factor of being made as CGI and the moon landing being fake and basically the whole space being fake, it'd be just be there for no reason, you know what I mean? It'd just be there to play a game on people in a sense. And for the people in military or random people recently have claimed of having experiences with unknown flying crafts. And this is Jinneh, because I was watching another video and they're like, oh, some military people are having a lot of activity, or not activity, but having like there's signs of activity of like UFOs or something like that. Like they just claim to have those experiences or something. And reminder, if you'd like to do your own research, you can. I mean, you're obviously here to watch the video, so if you'd like to look up the name of the like idea, whatever that I mentioned, then you can just like dive deep into it yourself and like just create your own like understanding. With that said, I suggest that people spread awareness, open your mind, and solidify your consciousness. There are events happening right now on Earth that'll determine the future way different than before. And on this flyer, I'm giving a shout out to musicians, not for discrimination. So the first song is by Old Dirty Bastard, which is called Drug Free. Quote, let me tell y'all effers something. I ain't got nothing against no one. Y'all effers always go something against me. F you, Men in Black. Drug Free. And if you guys watched the movie with Will Smith and I forgot the other actors, but the only one I remember right now is Will Smith being on Men in Black. They have like things that can brainwash you not to remember certain things and like see different creatures or whatever, you know? Like it just I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It'll be explained on other videos because this is not the only flyer that I'm gonna make. So the second song is Californication by Red Hot Chili Peppers. Quote, space may be the final frontier, but it's made in the Hollywood basement. So that does tie in with the CGI, you know, space being made of CGI because if you were to just constantly just like float back, because I watched a video of um I forgot his name, Rogan or something, that has like a third eye on his channel or something. He was talking about how like having the experience of just drifting out into space and like infiniteness, you know what I mean? Like just thinking that we're a dot, you know, that it's not cool. I don't think it's cool either. But the to carry on, this is third song, Babylon by Joey Badass and Chronixx. Quote, tell me America is the land of the free. That's a lie. Because nobody's free, boy, yeah. And this is when I said the slave trade and the sex slave trade or the sex trade would be tied into the third song, which is Babylon by Joey Badass and Chronixx. They say land of the free, you know. And with that being said, America is supposed to be the land of the free, right? And since Libya and them are having slavery, right? They should be able to come to America, to the land of the free, instead of having to have their difficulty again. You know what I mean? Because we've already had slavery. We've already been through that. We shouldn't be going through the same things and just having the same problems around. You know what I mean? But to carry on with the quote on the song, it says, "Until we leave Babylon and go to Ethiopia, and if you don't believe we can achieve that, then you're just another idiot or another." And it goes on. So the fourth song is called Babylon by Denzel Curry. Quote, it is the ultimate Myrmidon from the land, which is the city of Babylon. And I don't know how to say the Myrmidon, but it's spelled Myrmidon. And then to carry on, this is fifth song by Outkast. It's called Babylon 2. Not Babylon 2, but just Babylon. So, quote, oh, it's on now from here on out. Put your hands in the atmosphere if you know what I'm talking about. Because certain things have certain representations. So it's just, if you were to look into, say, right now I'm breaking it into hip hop more, you'd have more like representations and things to kind of like solidify your own consciousness and just kind of expand your own understanding. You know what I mean? To carry on, the sixth song is by Wu-Tang Clan. which is called Impossible. Quote, the sun gotta shine, keep on, cremate the whole Babylon. And cremate means to burn. And this is like the branching out part of what I said earlier. So like the cremate means to burn, right? Into ash. And when you have ash in Christianity, that represents repentance and your self-enacted, like, not harm, but just harm to yourself because of that repentance. But like that's not what I'm trying to that's not what I'm trying to say to do, but it's just like it's just repentance in general, you know what I mean? The seventh song is Babylon System by Bob Marley. Quote, Babylon System is the vampire, yeah, vampire, sucking the children day by day, yeah. Me say the Babylon System is the vampire falling empire, sucking the blood of the sufferers, yeah. Because vampire, like, in the personal view, would mean to, like, since they're known to suck blood, you would suck energy from a person, you know what I mean? You would use them to be able to, like, increase your consciousness, but with what he's trying to say right now, but not to fully speak for him, is to say that if they had that constructed, they wouldn't be able to, like, feed off onto other different cultures or whatever, you know? We would already have the Babylon constructed, and then we wouldn't have these CGI or people talking about it, you know what I mean? We would already have this done and settled. So, eighth song is Babylon Too Tough by Gregory Isaacs. Quote, easy natty, easy, Babylon too tough. Them a walk, them a shoot, them a loot, Babylon them a brute. Them a walk, them a loot, them a shoot, we know evil by the root. Eighth song is by Flatbush Zombies. Quote, in this era of discovering suddenly hundreds and hundreds of exoplanets, you know, planets that are like Earth that can conceivably support life, that's a major discovery, you've got to admit, in terms of probability of life being discovered. So, you know, like I said, the goal of this is not, I didn't say this, but the goal of this is to sort of solidify your consciousness, right? So the ninth song is Auditorium by Slick Rick and Mos Def. Quote, sit and come relax, riddle off the Mac, it's the patch, I'm a soldier in the middle of Iraq. The reason why we're mentioning this is because he says Iraq, right? And there's things to learn from places, so that's why I said if you like to look it up, then you can. So it's pretty interesting. But the 10th song is Air by Charles Manson. Quote, and the sky offers the great illusion. And then he says the world comes first. So in a more of a personal view, like, you wouldn't just build the Tower of Babylon, just have everyone just go up there, you know what I mean? Because there's, like I said, there's sex trading going on and stuff. So, like, those people would just, like, I don't think, in my point of view, like, say an innocent child would want someone that's doing that type of stuff to other people, would want them to be above the sky, you know what I mean? Like, that's why there's, like, it's access to it or something, in a sense. So to carry on, the 11th song is by Firm Fiasco by Nas, AZ, and Foxy Brown. Quote, Firm Islamic, hit the corner of the earth just like a comment. So he says like a comment. So in poetry, you know, in writing, like is a type of writing form because you're using, like, oh, that's as cold as ice cream or something, you know what I mean? I don't know what I'm saying, but the 12th song is by Immortal Technique called Point of No Return. Quote, the kingdoms of Africa and Mesopotamia, machine gunning your body with depleted uranium. This is the age of microchips and titanium. To branch off with that, the people or scientists are actually trying to develop a way where they extract the human brain and then put it into a robot body that can increase your life expectancy, but at the same time, the there's immortality that's believed to be by other cultures and stuff, right? So that's something we'll break off into in another video, but to kind of give a brief explanation, you would say grapes, right? Scientists have proven that grapes can help boost your life expectancy, right? So if you were to have grapes and say another thing where you have there's this plant in Africa, right? Where if you put it on your face or whatever, you keep doing that, your face can actually look younger. So say you work out, you're keeping yourself busy, being healthy, you're you're using these to keep yourself well nourished, then you could boost that life expectancy. You know what I mean? And with that the time being an illusion, you would have no limit. You know what I mean? And because with what the system's doing is like, all right, you have 7 days in a week. All right, like sometimes weeks can just go fast. You know what I mean? So with say a year, you're all right. I'm this year. I'm this many years old. I'm this many years old. You know what I mean? But it's in a sense, it's just all mentality. You know what I mean? And to carry on with the lyrics, this is the dark side of the moon and contact with aliens. Remember, he says this is the age. So, dark side of the moon has a conspiracy with that you guys can look into. And contact with aliens, there's with like the Simpsons, right? They have a conspiracy where there's these two, like, I think presidents or congressmen or something, where they're supposed to be like people, but they get these alien heads ripped off. Like it's a prediction that's already there. You know what I mean? Like say Trump being elected and him going down those that escalator, having his hand up, and then the sign behind him, like they had that there. Like you know what I mean? Like there's one that's cartoon, and then there's one in real life. So it's just like a a plan that's being played out on people. You know what I mean? Because with the people that I'm promoting, they've promoted like one love, like one government, and all that. So with secret societies and all that running around on Earth, it'd be difficult to have, like actual factual information that isn't fake or just making you wonder and just constantly search. You know what I mean? The 13th song is called "The Sky's the Limit" by Notorious B.I.G. Quote, "The sky's the limit, and you know that you keep on, just keep on pressing on. Sky's the limit, and you know that you can have what you want, be what you want." 14th song is by Lil Wayne, which is called "The Sky's the Limit." Quote, "Don't worry about mine, I'ma grind till I get it, and tell all my N-word that the sky is the limit." So go on. 15th song is by Flatbush Zombies called "Death," and to quote, to say the quote from the song, like the lyrics, is "terrorist experiments," and to kind of break the branch off, the terrorist J.F. Kennedy made a statement that claimed that terrorism is just a scare tactic to the brain, basically, right? So America's full of S word, blinded by skin color, blinded by his lover, blinded by shining lights, and you, the gift of life, which like gift of life, like humans have way beyond, have like they've already passed their limitations. You know what I mean? At this point, like say the scientist trying to extract the brain and go into, say, a robot body, right? That's just a like that's not a gift of life. You know what I mean? So I want to break into that too far, but to just to give a brief description of that, it's just that like we're we've made it to a good time, man, and it's just that now it should be kind of uh, enlightened in a sense, where people are aware of what's around them. Because, say, I went to school, right, and I learned about the history of Earth, of what's going on Earth, right? So in my mind, I'm picturing it just like playing out all the way to the point now. And if you're not focused on that, right, and if you're going working every day, and if you don't remember the schooling, you're not gonna have that type of mentality to be like, oh, that happened over there, that place is known for this, oh, that, like, it's kind of like your own movie, but it's not a movie, you know what I mean? It's just that it's your reality in a sense. And that concludes the flyer, the video. So if you guys want to comment any other songs, other religions that might have ties to space and all that, don't mind to mention it, because I'll be glad to make another video to show you guys another perspective and show you guys what's going on. You know what I mean? Because the a video that you guys will be expecting is War and One Love. That might be the next video. I'm not sure, but just to tell you guys what's going on, that's pretty much it. So yeah, that will be the end of the video. Peace.